This is the oldest and largest national convention for the cattle business, and 2019 will mark the 122nd annual convention. Thousands of cattlemen and women will be on hand for 3.5 days of education, fellowship, networking, business, and a whole lot of fun. We begin with Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Russell Nemitz, who has an overview of some of the unique experiences the city of New Orleans has to offer.
New Orleans is one of the country's most unique and historic cities and has long been a top travel destination. The Crescent City, located alongside the mighty Mississippi River, turned 300 years old in 2018. And what better way to build on that celebration than by welcoming thousands of cattle producers from all across the country.
Well, first of all, I just want to say welcome to New Orleans from every chef, musician, street performer, and hospitality worker. We want to welcome you with open arms to the city. The city has a unique vibe, as many people say.
We're always looking for an excuse to throw a party, and this year we're so happy to have our tricentennial birthday. The city of New Orleans turning 300. Everybody's very fired up right now.
There's a melding pot of cultures, from French Caribbean to Spanish, and the Germans came in the late 1800s as well to help build our ports. New Orleans is the 5th largest port in the country. Many people don't realize some little tidbits of trivia that the majority of sweet potatoes come from the state of Louisiana, going out through the port. 70% of the coffee that comes in through the United States comes through our port.
From history to architecture to food and entertainment, you'll find plenty to do in New Orleans. In fact, choosing what to do might be the toughest part. The good news is there are many ways to take it all in.
Transportation in our city is very fluid. Our city, quite honestly, is a walkable city. From the convention center to our furthest hotel is roughly about 1.5 miles, so people can walk around the city without having the need for a rental car or for taxi cabs. But if they so deem fit, they can take a taxi, they can Uber or Lyft throughout the city, take one of our many pedicabs, or the double-decker on-off buses travel throughout the city to explore.
We own a bus fleet of over 80 buses. We do a lot of transfers for the big conventions coming in. It's a great way to see a city because it stops off at all the major attractions. And you can get off and spend as much time as you like, and there's another bus at that particular stop coming every 15 or 20 minutes. But while you're traveling to each major attraction, there's a narrator up on the top, and they're giving you the history of all these landmarks that you're passing.
You know, quite honestly, there are so many things to do and see in the city, it's really hard to give a top 5. There are many free and clear things to do throughout the city. The streetcar, I say, is one of the cheapest tours you can do throughout the city. For $3 in a day, you can go through the Garden District, the French Quarter, our uptown area, and to go to City Park and experience some great features of the city.
Go get some beignets at Cafe Du Monde. Definitely take our dinner jazz cruise here on the Creole Queen paddle wheeler. And I would highly suggest Commander's Palace, greatest restaurant in the city.
With so much to see and do in New Orleans, the 2019 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show will no doubt be a huge draw for cattlemen and women from across the country.
I'm really excited about the 2019 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show, and it's very important that we get as many producers and fellow cattlemen to come down to New Orleans and see what's going on. We're going to have the biggest and best trade show ever in New Orleans, as well as we're going to conduct all our meetings for our policy and checkoff side of things. And I really expect attendance to break all records for New Orleans. And so come on down and be a part of the cattle industry. My impression of New Orleans is just terrific. I've been to New Orleans in prior meetings, and I love coming here. I mean, I never run out of things to do. There's things to see. And particularly for me, I'm going to go see the World War II National Museum here coming up in a few hours. I'm looking forward to that.
From the World War II Museum to the waterfront to Bourbon Street and more, no matter where you go in New Orleans, one thing you'll always find is a warm welcome.
There's a saying that Southern charm lives in the Gulf South. In New Orleans, it is a part of the culture. It's part of the people that live here, where you'll experience it not only in the restaurants or in the hotels, but all throughout the city. I'll tell you this, we would like to invite everybody to come to our city. New Orleans is a cultural icon in the Gulf South. We'd like to welcome you with open arms to our city and invite you to come.
You got to go to Cattlemen's Convention. Great food, great hospitality. Every nightlife is unbelievable, and there's always something to do. But it's a memorable city that people will never forget, and they'll have a joyous time here.
Come on, people. Bring your cowboy hats and your boots, and let's kick it.
From the Big Easy, I'm Russell Nimitz for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.